Cloud. Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on February 23rd, 2022. Yesterday was 02222, whatever. It was supposed to be special, but the world didn't end or anything. We're back today. We got a guest. She volunteered to be on the show, and then
what was she thinking?
I left her 2 messages. I said, give me her LinkedIn profile, please, 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 please. And so I didn't get a reply. I figured she's not really a recruiter. She's not coming. So I did no research on her. Okay. So I don't know what's going to happen. We'll sort of play. I've got tons of questions, but nothing's directed towards her personally. We'll have to wing that. I got to say, she looks a bit like Gal Gadot. That's a good sign, isn't it? Anyone ever tell you that before? You look like Wonder Woman?
This is the first time, quite honestly. I hear a lot of comments that I look like Cameron Diaz, to be honest, but I don't have like full makeup right now in my hair.
Next time I want you wearing a gold crown and your hair a little flowy, okay?
Yeah, like something about Mary.
Okay, agreed.
Well, no, you know what? Her mouth does look like Cameron Diaz.
Actually, she's like half Cameron Diaz, half Gal Gadot.
You're right. MarioTheRecruiter.com. He's got it.
I'm blushing over here. I'm blushing.
Okay. We haven't told her name yet, but I'll give the easy names first. The SalesRecruiter.com. Raise your hand, Michael G. Cox. Okay. Now, guest, what is your name, please?
My actual name is Stanislava. However, considering that I work for the United States market and Stanislava is a bit long and complicated, you can simply call me Sasha.
Can you say the full name again?
Stanislava.
Stanislava.
Yeah.
That's pretty easy to pronounce.
Or something like that,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Don't underestimate us gringos over here. If you tell us a couple times, we'll figure it out.
But I like Stan. I like Stan better than Sasha. Stan.
Well, Stan, Stan is literally in Serbian, in my native language. Okay, that means an apartment. So I don't like it.
Hey, but you're on an English show. This is an English-speaking show, international as it is. We're all in different countries, actually. And she's actually the second guest from Serbia. We have another,
nice.
Sarah. I don't know how to say her last name. I can't remember.
Ivan's friend, right?
To hear that.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, you've got a great English accent. I'm in awe. Okay, but tell us a little about yourself because I don't know anything about you and I'm just wasting time right now. Let's get right to it.
Okay. Well, I work as HR specialist for a property management company that is based in, that is doing business across Pennsylvania and Kansas as well. Our main office is in Nazareth, PA. However, you can see some of the beauties of globalization, such as doing the same office work remotely, which is the reason.
What titles are you recruiting for?
Maintenance technicians, property managers, project managers, house cleaners, what else?
Okay, anybody, Mario or Michael G. Cox, please butt in. But my question, the first question is, it's a company, they're working in Pennsylvania. They've got you in Serbia. Why? So they can underpay you?
Well, or to use the beauty of globalization, like I said. Because
what's the value of using someone in Serbia?
Well, the same thing can be done either in Nazareth or in Serbia, right? I can do remote interviews from anywhere in the world. They are paying me good. I'm satisfied with the salary, and
okay, you're satisfied. I didn't want to embarrass you, but I think she's not saying everybody.
It's not that simple as that.
I mean, embarrassed. I'm not easy. I didn't prepare. No,
Mario wants to tell us from a international perspective.
Yeah, from a business perspective, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, because you can definitely pay as per the market standard over there versus the market standard over in the US. There's a huge discrepancy. Okay, think of it like this.
You're an expert for Eastern Europe now.
I know the rough pricing here. I know the pricing all over the place. I'm like, I told like
He's
God
like,
all over
okay,
the
I
place.
gotta thank Mario and Dimple. I had a question and I talked to Mario and I talked to Dimple. I just want to acknowledge that they spent some time with me and helped me.
Anytime, anytime.
Here's Clang.so, the IT recruiter from
Yo.
Switzerland who built his
Hello,
own
everyone.
applicant tracking system. Clang.so, yay!
And a
Okay,
social media app. I use that.
yeah,
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's an
It's
awesome
really
app.
good.
okay.
I love it. My whole team uses
Mario
it.
is the best, one of the best users. We were
His
very
social
proud to
media
have
app,
you.
is there a different URL or you go to
It's
Clang.so?
klng.so. klng.so.
Okay, back to Sasha. I like you, okay?
I like you too.
You got
Tell
guts.
I
me-
like myself. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
Tell me, Sasha, what's your background or what's your education? How many years, how'd you get into recruiting? How many years experience do you have? Because you didn't give me your LinkedIn profile. And let me criticize you because I
Why?
didn't even see her LinkedIn profile, but she told me right away she doesn't keep it up to date. That's crazy. I would
No.
never hire a recruiter who didn't keep her
No.
LinkedIn profile up to
She's
date.
not a
I'm gonna-
recruiter. She's
I'm
a
gonna
HR specialist.
Yeah,
Big
thank
difference.
you. Thank you. Thank you. It's a different, but part of my job is to recruit employees, right?
And
The
she
main
does sound like Cameron Diaz sometimes. Yeah.
Hey,
The guy's in love with you, but he's married, okay?
I'm
Go
married
ahead.
already.
I'm
I'm not
curious.
in love with anyone. I appreciate what I see. Sorry,
Okay.
Mike.
Sasha,
Yes.
on your LinkedIn profile, have you? Because I see this a lot, and when I'm having conversations with individuals that are in kind of like job search mode, I always recommend that they update the URL to their LinkedIn profile, because the section that you could update is Sasha hyphen Teshanovic?
Teshanovic, actually, but you did a great job.
Okay, thank you.
And you are so
hyphen
complimentary. I would say, hey,
1873B4143. Have you ever considered updating that URL?
Oh, yes, I did.
should-
Yes,
you should
I
definitely
did.
do
But
well, why
like I
haven't you
said,
done it? Why haven't you done it? That's a good
oh my
point, Michael G.
God,
Cox.
please, one by one. May we go one by one? I wanted
No, that's
to.
not the way
This
it
is
works
the
here.
animal show. I'm so sorry.
okay.
We go.
Oh.
We
at
all
one
scream
shot.
at each other
Oh.
and
One go.
talk over each other.
Yeah,
Okay.
fight with each other also.
Understood. Understood. Well, I admit, guilty as charged. I haven't updated or what would be the good word?
You said it.
First off,
Optimization.
You
First
update.
off,
Okay,
I'm
let's
planning
give
to-
you some advice. I'm not the only one here. Update your LinkedIn profile. Someone might want to recruit
As
you.
far
They'll
as the
watch you on the
work
Recruiting
background-
Animal Show, and they'll say, "Look at she's with those 3 idiots, but she's terrific. I want to recruit her."
I'll have you
okay?
know, yeah, well, 4 idiots, because Ivan.
Ivan's
Ivan's
also there.
left.
Yeah.
Okay, he couldn't take it. Okay, so he got his plug in for his ATS and social media. He doesn't need us anymore. Okay, no, really. I don't know why
He's back.
You seem so bright,
He's back.
and
well,
you
thank
can
you,
roll
and
with
I
the.
am.
But
I
no,
am.
yeah, you
I
are. You're
really
not
am.
so bright. The proof is in the pudding.
Why?
Cox
Why?
nailed you
Why?
on something that I wouldn't even have seen. Okay.
Animal,
okay.
I swear, I want to grab a couple of beers with you one time, okay? You're hilarious. I
Wouldn't
swear.
be able to
really.
drink.
This is the best of me. You know what? I'll talk about myself. On Facebook, the Facebook group, the people see I run the group, they must think I'm somebody, okay? They keep asking to be my friend. It's the last thing I need. People criticizing me because of the news articles. I never accept anybody, okay? I'm nobody, everybody. You don't want to know me. This is the best. Okay, let's get back to the guest.
Hey.
How did you get into recruiting?
Thank you. Well, first off, I need to update. Let me respond to your last question, okay?
Your daughter.
Previous question. I need to
Your hurty.
update my profile picture because I think that it needs to be more professional and it needs to match my current position,
You
okay?
can take.
It
I
doesn't.
could give you a clip from this. I mean, you look great in there with the headset. Fantastic. It's my opinion.
Well, I'm kind of perfectionist, so I like everything neat and
Okay.
tidy.
Hi,
Other than
Dwalka.
that, my work background is good, is updated. However, Michael, and thank you for your suggestion. I will update the link, making it shorter.
How long have
you-
you been in recruiting? Get to that point. Let me
Well,
introduce Dualta though.
See,
Dualta.
he asks you a question and then doesn't let you answer.
I want to
yeah,
acknowledge a
I
great
mean,
man, okay? A
recruiting
great man.
animal, you are awful, and it's
Yeah, I
great
am,
that I'm
okay.
not, I'm
She
a
That's his
realized it
brand.
too late.
person. I'm a go-getter, and
Okay, Dualta, let's cast him to the side. Go ahead.
Be careful.
Sasha, you realized too late.
He's only about the man. Be careful. He doesn't like women. Animal
Yeah.
That's not
doesn't
true. I love
respect
your
women.
wife, okay?
He's
I
showing his-
love
Animals
his
respect
wife. I
women.
just don't like to announce it too often, okay?
Wow.
Go ahead, Sasha. How long have you
well,
been in recruiting? Mario says you're not a recruiter. That's not true. How long have you been recruiting?
It's a mix.
2 years, and
Okay, she's dead.
particularly in charge of recruiting, 2 years.
You're a baby.
Okay, somebody else
Yep.
asked her a question.
you.
Go ahead.
Hey,
I'm no
Sasha,
good.
do you work with any staffing agencies or recruiting agencies on the side? I mean,
No.
through your company. First question.
Well,
He's
considering
already
that
working the
we-
angle.
Yeah,
well,
obviously.
Hey,
Well,
yeah.
thank you, because we might consider you. However, the main reason why I joined this particular Facebook group was because I saw it on one blog on Google, and I thought an education or additional source always is a good thing, and then I realized, okay, this might be what would be the good word? It gave me an initial idea to start my own agency, because I'm in perfect place right now to do the same thing. I have the knowledge, I know language, I have the insights in the market, but however, I need that push to just jumpstart.
More than the
when
push, you need the
recruiting.
grit.
Grit.
Dualta, I just want to introduce her to Dualta. He specializes
Yes.
in working with like new owners, right? His name's Dualta, Dualta. If you don't like him, his wife's name is Charlotte. Okay.
New owner.
She's
Nice
more
to meet
charming.
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's
Nice to
truly the
meet
better
you.
half.
You should join his Facebook group too. What's your Facebook group, Dualta?
Required, but our mastermind program is definitely suitable for you if you're a recruitment founder, especially because you're a bit of a baby in the industry.
And the
Not
What's
like,
Up group
it's not
too.
like you're an old gun like Michael G. Cox over there.
Okay.
Or a,
so-
a
man of
middle-aged gun.
mystery.
So hold on, I don't mind talking about her career. It's fun, sort of. If somebody else wants to do that, you didn't tell us at the beginning. Yeah, that's even more reason for you to brand yourself better on LinkedIn. Okay,
True.
you're giving us a lot of targets. But here's the thing: what you told us right away. I'm hard to embarrass. I have a thick skin, essentially, is what you said. So do you think recruiting is primarily based on character or intelligence or some kind of training? I think it's a character issue. What's your strongest asset as a recruiter?
In what essence?
To
Strongest
do your work
character?
as a
Oh,
recruiter, if you're not afraid
my
to talk to
strongest-
people or make cold calls because someone's not going to be happy to hear from you, I think that's a genius recruiter. That's the biggest qualification. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, because I used to work as a sales manager, and I did a lot of cold calls, because like I said, this part of the world where I work, a lot of people are already working for the United States as an outsourced employees, right? And I figured out with my previous employer that we could make a great project, and that was the reason. And one of the blah blah
This is
blah.
a hand
too much
signal.
Get to the
Get to the
sauce.
point,
Too
okay?
much sauce. Yeah, definitely my character. I'm a go-getter. When
So,
I set a goal, I need to reach it. It's
Sasha,
either
I'm
that or
curious
nothing less.
if you did, let's hypothetically say you set up your own agency, you join Dualta's What's Up group, and what type of recruiting would you be doing?
Well, niche, you are referring to niche. What type?
Yeah.
What niche? Well, that's the thing that I'm still reconsidering.
Okay.
I love her. She's great. Okay. Anybody else? Ernie,
Yeah.
foodindustryrecruiter.com. Okay. Anybody else
What,
got some
what
questions?
niche are you thinking about, Sasha?
Well, the most lucrative niche at this point is IT. However, I think that that one is the most competitive. Okay. However, quite honestly, I don't have answer.
What's your experience in? Like what's your subject matter expertise in?
Well, at this point, I'm working for a property management company, and
Yeah.
I used to work for a dispatching company. So those two are my area of expertise, because
I
I
think she's-
know if I start with IT, you know, for instance, with product managers or product managers, it will consume my time because I will need to educate myself.
Sure.
In
A little bit, yeah.
a lot of terminology, because I
Not
had
a little bit, a lot of it.
short, yes, I know. I had a short, not a project,
Let me
but
interrupt, okay? I'm letting you talk a little more than I should. There was a girl, 39 years old, featured in the New York Times recently. Lots of people read the article. She is an IT recruiter. They came to her as an expert. She only pivoted into IT in the last 2 years during the pandemic, because the market exploded. I worry about the same thing as you. I said, how could I learn all about those languages and jargon and stuff? Obviously, some people are learning about it really fast. Does
We learn
anybody?
on the fly, Animal. You remember my episode?
No, you should be the guest again, because I can't remember anything from one week to the
Christ.
next. Go ahead.
You
Okay,
can
no,
learn
we-
on the fly, but I will bet she was either married to an individual that was helping, you know, supporting, or had a significant bankroll to help, you know, keep her expenses paid for X number of months.
I wonder how she became the feature. Okay, so I agree with you, IT. You've got a sales background. What's your education?
Can I make a comment just on the IT?
Go ahead.
IT's not a niche.
Yep.
IT's like the biggest area there is. You need to, if you're going to do IT, you have to pick a subset within
Yes,
it.
I
And
agree.
then you, like a hyper subset, like it can't even be just, I'm doing developers. I can't even be just,
Yeah.
I'm doing JavaScript. It has to be like, I'm doing JavaScript within New York, within startups between this size and this size. Then you need to go find all the data. Then you need to understand what like there's a ton of work to do.
So what you're saying is, don't grasp an ocean, grasp a puddle, okay? And make yourself so niche specific that you're going to you can master the field. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because even from a learning perspective, then you're only learning one technology and you're only learning like one set of clients. Say there's 100 targets. You like there's only, and then maybe there's 5 different
Is that what
levels
you
of
meant when
growth.
you said get the data, map the industry, pick out all
Market map.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Because if you go too broad, it's super hard. And like it's okay if you've got loads of experience and you can kind of run with it and like you have a
But
big
do you
background
support,
in it.
hold on to Walter, do you support the idea of going out and finding out all of the potential candidates on LinkedIn before you start calling through them? I mean, I hear people saying they map I think Gavin Johnson said he maps the industry, right? Am I right about that? They get the names of hundreds of
I
people?
would probably pay somebody to map it for me, but that's just like I think anything that you're getting lost with too much time that's taking you away from the stuff you said, like communicating with candidates and clients. I think that's good to have in the background. But to like I've coached a guy and he spent a year mapping before he came onto our program, and I was
Oh
like,
my goodness.
"What are you doing?"
Jeez.
Like map as you go, but have an understanding that here are the companies that we go after. Here's the companies that we work. Here's the vertical that we're in. And the hardest bit is sticking to it, because what'll happen is opportunity will present itself and then you'll go outside it and then you'll wonder why you didn't close. And that's because every time you go outside it, your percentage of close gets worse. And then your marketing effort is harder because you're trying to speak to lots of new data sets all the time, whether that's from your media or your email or whatever it is. So
So
you
hold
simply
on, what are you
need-
saying? If you stay in your niche, then you recruit a bunch of people who you can actually still work with. If you go outside your niche, you got a whole bunch of new people, you leave the others behind. You're just starting again and again. It's a
Yeah,
waste of.
so
okay.
if I've got a product manager and I've that's my niche and I'm just doing that, then I know that there's all these companies that'll take a product manager within this area and you just work that silo. But if you start going, I'm doing developers one day, I'm doing sales the next day, I'm doing product managers the next day, and they're all geographically dispersed. Every time I go to place that person, I'm not just working the job. I'm obviously going to work the candidate to bring in extra vacancies. And I can't do that each time as an independent because there's too much time.
Okay, I just want to make
Sasha-
sure that also you might learn something from Ivan. He posts all kinds of cranky stuff now lately, I know, but he's
Yeah.
also a guy who set up his own solo business, okay? Mind you, he set it up in his own technical niche, which he's got functional experience. It's incredible. But so he's another guy that you might model yourself on.
Ivan, you have your microphone muted. There you go.
Yeah, this was like intentional. No, I agree. Like you have to niche down. Like IT, like generally software developers in some area is usually the classic, right? So,
So
that
let me
then
ask some
works.
general questions, okay? Okay, who'd want to hire a recruiter who posts this? Okay, because I run jobs for recruiters and people post requests for jobs. This woman wrote, "I have fallen in love with helping people land their dream jobs, and I'm looking to continue my passion." That's not what the recruiter does. I'm not working for people to land their dream jobs. I want to bring people into the company. Does anybody agree with me that that's not a good
We're on the
thing?
same page. Yeah.
She's gonna fall out of love very fast. Okay, give her 3 backouts. That's the end of it. Okay, she
But,
be slamming the
Alexa,
wall.
I think you could fall in love with getting the best people in your niche better jobs.
Let's be frank. I fall in love with the checks. Okay, that's the real truth about it. Okay, it's all about the money.
What do you do with all your money, Mario? What do you do with
I
it all?
invested back in the business, George.
Come on, tell us about the fun stuff. What? Give us the fun stuff. Come on.
The fun. My God, the fun stuff is unfortunately not very fun.
I worked all
Mario,
night.
Man, I
you must be
reinvest
a
all
rich
my
man in
cash.
your
Yes.
country.
Okay.
Pardon? Yeah, I am actually a rich man in my country for this
Yeah.
year alone. Yeah,
Okay.
but
Here's
I
another
reinvest the
question.
money.
Here's a question.
I'm a business guy, man. Always.
Here's a question. Sasha gets first dibs, okay, on the answers. Here's a woman, she's recruiting dentists, okay, and everybody always criticizes me about this. She has to call in to the front desk. The dentists are working on people. They're almost never free to take a call. She just wants to leave a message, but the receptionists are always asking who she is, what she wants. Sasha, what would you do in that situation? Do you have a solution, a quick one, or do you want to pass?
I would like to pass.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, nobody.
Change the dish. Nobody
No
wants minutes.
takers.
Nobody wants this.
No,
Nobody
I have
take
no
notes.
clue what to say in that aspect of.
You gotta kind of look at it as to who you can get a hold of. I mean, like, you don't want to.
Enlighten us.
I think
Yeah,
Ernie,
you don't-
excuse me. I
you-
think her niche is dentistry.
It just is.
Yeah.
Yes, it
I
is.
thought it was
I
recruiting
think I know the lady
dentists.
he's talking about. Michael, is she part of the hook? Animal, is she part of the
Yeah,
hook?
yeah.
Ah, I know her. Yeah.
Okay, that's
No
where
idea.
I read it. I read it on the Herc. Also, Michael, not Michael G. Cox, David Stephen Patterson wrote
DSP.
a very long, informative piece.
That's
on-
all he does is he writes very long pieces.
Okay, but this
He
one was
talks very
complex
longly
on,
as well.
on, on drip campaigns, all the different technology you can use for drip campaigns. Are other
Really?
people into that? Do they know about automating?
Yeah.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not? It's
Yeah, what do you
become the
need to
go-to
know?
nowadays.
What do you need to know?
Well, he wants to nurture a pipeline. Sasha, do you know what that means? Wake up.
No, I'm awake. I'm wide awake. I'm writing down.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
geez,
you can
don't
watch
be
the
writing-
show
don't be
again.
writing
It's
down
going to
anything
be on
Animal
YouTube.
says.
Okay. You gotta, let's say you map the industry, you get a whole string of people, let's say 100
Okay.
people, potential candidates. You don't have to listen if you don't want to. I don't care. Okay. And so
Don't
you
listen.
want to send them stuff.
Well, otherwise I would waste my time by being here, right?
Yeah,
If
well,
I'm
you
not
might have
listening.
decided
this is-
after
that's
5
what
minutes
this is
that you were
for.
Time is
wasting.
money.
Sasha, I'll tell you
Time is
one
money,
thing.
right?
Sasha, hold it. I'll tell you one
Wasting
thing,
time
okay?
is what this is
It,
for.
it may seem like you're wasting your time, but trust me, the truth bombs that are dropped on the show are worth its weight in gold. I will openly say it. Okay, I learned so much from joining here. Okay, it's
From
not, trust me,
Super
it's not a
Rich.
waste.
He learns from Super Rich, who's on
I
one
learned
of his
from all of you guys. I've given you
10 weeks
credit.
vacation. He said he takes
the guy's
10
a
weeks
man.
Mario.
vacation.
He's
Well, I
my
give you
idol.
an example.
10
I
weeks
give you an
vacation.
example of how you can use it properly. A drip campaign, Animal.
Okay, just let me clarify. Yeah, but he said, so the issue is that you're sending out these emails with articles or topics of interest to maintain contact with people who you've been in touch with already. The big concern is that they're going into, the garbage folders, the junk folders. They're not getting to the people directed. And so he said you have to have a bunch of different domain names and email addresses so one of them gets through. That's what it sounded like to me. Dualta, over to you. You tell us what the story is.
So you
I
have
like
to
your
have-
beard, by the way.
okay,
I like it.
firstly-
It looks
First,
great.
let me go back to the last bit of what you said. He said, because that you only need a bunch of domains if you're getting put in spam lists. So
That's the issue, isn't it?
that's the issue. So what we want to do with drip campaigns is to do it in a way that we're not spamming people. So it starts with evergreen content. So let's say you set up a podcast like this, right? And or for one of your niches, you're doing dentistry. It's how to fix dentist teeth for dentists, whatever it is that interests dentists. Jobs for dentists are part of it. You'll have an article that will get their email. That'll be one thing that you'll do. You'll also go and you'll find every dentist practitioner in the US, and that could be your listenership. You'll find the people who own the practitionerships as well. And you can get people to do this for you. Then you'll invite them on a podcast because they're really important and you want to share something and they want to hire people and all of that good stuff. And you find a reason to get them on. You could drip feed them the podcast that you've done with another dentist about dentists and invite them on it. And then all of a sudden they're then into your funnel and into your community. And that is how ideally in recruitment you could use a drip funnel. The other bit would be if you're MPC and a candidate. So let's say we've got a really good
MPC,
candidate.
not everybody knows what MPC means.
And in the UK, they don't either.
I
So
don't.
We call it specking. It's a candidate send out. So
Most placeable,
It's most placeable candidate. Yeah, you get a
Candidate.
candidate and you call a
The
bunch of
money.
companies that might be interested in her
Yeah.
because she's a perfect fit for somebody.
So how you would do that in a drip feed campaign is you would get the data, you would then do the send out with the drip feed campaign on the candidate that you have. And you'll have maybe 3, 4, 5 messages. What you'll shoot with one will be very direct on the actual candidate. Then you'll have a follow-up, and then you might have another follow-up, and then you might have another email that might mix it up a little bit. But yeah,
What's the frequency of those emails? First of all, I think Super Rich, who you're a big fan of as well, would say use the phone.
He's the
Don't
man.
send
Do
an
both.
email.
Do
Don't send an
both.
email.
Do both.
Okay, but
This is a pain in the ass. Lots of work that you set up one time, and if you're sending it to the right people, then it should make sense to them, and it should be something that would be of value to them. So if it's a VP of sales, hopefully you're going to come to them with some stuff that most VPs of sales would be interested to hear about.
Okay, but
I've got somebody that's gonna make
so let me
you
just
millions of
clarify something. So I want
I didn't hear a word what Doleto said right there.
Okay, not then. He said two things, and this is important if you're starting out, I think, Sasha, in a certain niche. Talk to people. They'd love to talk to you. You're a charming young woman. That's sexist, I know. Sorry, everybody. Okay, and say, look, I want a 5-minute interview with you so that I can send around to the industry. People might like that, right, Dualta? They might. The
if you get your value proposition right on it. So
well, how do you approach those people? How do you?
What's the kind of value
you don't-
proposition?
Well,
that
you
comes
don't.
into play?
Well, you don't say I'm a charming young woman. You position
I
yourself.
would never say that.
Well, he did because he's
I
sexy.
would.
But
I wouldn't. I would just send them either my LinkedIn profile, and they can see that on my picture, right, or my Facebook. However, I'm not using my Facebook.
Does
Sasha,
anybody here think
technically
I would-
speaking, with your current LinkedIn profile, it ain't gonna work.
You know, it's really
Trust
like,
me.
if you look at it like, what's your approach? What I would
Well,
do, if I was going to start out again,
let Ernie teach you? Okay, go ahead,
Yeah,
Ernie.
if I was going to start out again, what I would do is I would find number one, you have to get a client, somebody that'll sign your contract and ready to go. You talk to them, you find out specifically what they need. Is there relo? What are the problems they need to fix with their people? What's the background they want? But most importantly, that they will get back to you within 48 hours for every candidate that you submit. If they do not get back to you, then it's worthless.
But that's another stage. Let's finish the drip campaigns, okay?
Hey,
'Cause
no, but that first client
Is the
is
drip.
very important.
I mean, you can drip all you want. You don't have any clients. Then what the hell?
Exactly.
And typically,
You know,
it's,
So I'm
it's a
try-
previous
yeah, but
employer.
the candidate that you're NPCing out there, that'll
Okay.
get you your first client.
There you
Okay,
go.
but
That's
then
what
let's-
Super Rich would say. Rich said it last week. Okay.
But wait, now you get now look at that NPC. You get this candidate that you like. You like their background. You go to various clients and you say, would you want to hire this guy or this gal? Really what you're doing is you're presenting someone and you don't really care whether they say yes or no. What you care about is whether they talk to you.
Yeah,
And if
that becomes your first
they talk to you, then if they tell you no, then that's your opening to say, what else do you have? Because this is my background. This is what I can do.
Oh,
And
Ernie.
yes.
Ernie's on point. I
You
mean,
still
thanks,
got
Ernie.
it, hey?
I
still
really
got it.
learned something today.
Ernie,
It's
what's on
like
the
he's done this before.
No,
Ernie,
no, no.
you
DeWalter
tell us
wants
your
to fight.
CD.
Go ahead.
I want to know what's his favorite CD behind him.
What's your favorite? What's what?
Your
Right
favorite
behind
CD.
you, what's your favorite
right
CD
behind
there?
you. What's your favorite CD there?
I
What
don't
gets
know,
you
I
in the
got a
mood?
bunch of them.
What gets
My daughter
you
got
in the
most
mood
of
for
them.
business development?
I want to finish off the drip campaign. Come on. So if I said, if anybody's so crazy, they think that she should send an email saying I'm a charming young woman. That wasn't my intention. I just think it's obvious if someone's seen her in video already, she's personable. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Okay,
and that's
so-
why I'm getting with
But
Sasha.
and that was a kind of tongue in cheek. The point is,
No,
Joe Mullings isn't a charming young woman, and he's got lots of people that he interviews. Okay, he's a model for many recruiters right now.
We
So-
gotta
Yeah,
make
but
Sasha
that
Joe
money
lead
Mullins.
now.
has
She
a
wants mo-
niche, and he's become a voice for that niche. And people actually want to hear what he's got to say because he's had this long record of saying shit that people like to hear.
Thank God, everybody says
Michael
shit,
G. Cox is
okay?
on point.
Yes, but if
I
you-
want to hear. I'm begging to hear what DeWalter has to say,
No,
please.
but if we use the Joe Mullings example, he's the end point of the journey of the niche. So the start of it is picking the niche, and then it's sticking to it, and then
We were at the pipeline. I want to know how to nurture a pipeline. You were telling us, send
I
out
told you
these.
there's two things that you can do. One, you can set up a podcast, invite them onto your podcast.
Okay,
Use that.
Who you
Jesus,
said?
let me
You said,
finish.
yeah, but then you challenged me that it's not so easy to get people. How do you get them on the podcast? That's where we broke off.
Oh, well, so you need to make it worth their while. So if, for example, you probably might need to build up that you've got a big network. So as a recruiter, our biggest thing is people know us and we have a database and all of that. So they want access to that. So we need to convince them that half an hour of their time is going to get them enough eyeballs for it to be worth their
How do you
while.
tell them that? First of all, I don't agree with
I
you.
tell them
Okay.
that. I tell them that.
You tell them that.
I tell them that. It's the truth, though.
Yes.
Walter, when's your next mastermind starting?
Next month.
Next month. Cool. Okay.
6.
Reserve me a seat. I'm joining.
Okay.
7th. or
Ernie
something like
wants to fight. Ernie wants to say
No,
something. Go ahead.
I want to go back to like helping Sasha. Sasha
Thank
sounds like
you.
she wants to set up.
We
her
are
business.
helping Sasha.
No,
with
no,
the
no.
drip.
When you start talking
You're
about
not. You're not.
wait.
You're thinking
when you
recruiting
start when you
animal, but
start
you're
talking
not.
about when you start talking about setting up a podcast, she ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. Nobody's gonna do it except Walter. He sets up
Yeah,
podcast.
true.
You gotta
True.
be a veteran.
Michael G. Cox
First
could
of all-
do it.
But
I
first
did
of
it for a little while.
okay, but
It's not
first of all,
consistent.
what you gotta do is you gotta set up your business. And we're starting from the ground. She's trying to learn, how do I get my first client?
Yeah,
Right now.
get your first candidate, pick your niche, and bring it to market. It's fucking easy, guys. Like, but you
Yes.
have to pick the niche.
You have that's I think that's where it starts, because one of them, I said yes to so much business that I shouldn't have said yes to. And it wasted so much of my time because I was like, holy shit, somebody gave me an offer or an order. And I wasted so much time and looked terrible because I shouldn't have been working on that stuff. So I think looking back, I would zero in on having a bigger sample of companies and types of positions to say no to.
Sasha, have you ever made a placement before?
Placement.
Yeah, have you ever
Meaning
have you ever went out and recruited somebody and then put them in a job?
Well, I work as HR specialist, so yes, I did.
He's a
But I
recruiter.
mean, that-
She's
You're a
doing it
recruiter,
internally.
Ernie.
There's a difference.
excuse me, as a recruiter.
Yeah, I'm working internally. Not as a recruiter, not
Okay.
not
Uh,
as
But
Like,
you've gone through the
outside
process of
person.
hiring somebody.
yes,
So
yes,
have-
and
have you
I
taken-
did.
I can take you through a few questions to get you where you need to get to, if you like. So, we just need to understand first of all. So,
I'm
you're-
sorry. Let me just have
you're-
a bit of
okay.
water.
all right,
She's
You're
Go
sweating.
ahead.
your
Stressed out.
network,
I'm not.
your
No,
your
I'm not.
network and experience.
Have some vodka.
You mentioned it's in property management. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
And what country? Where?
U.S., Pennsylvania,
Hold on.
but she's
let her-
located. She's
Hold
in
on. Will you let her
Serbia.
speak? One
Well,
sec.
we all know this already.
Yeah,
Okay.
you were
Yeah,
late. Sorry,
I will
but you
get.
missed it.
Listen. I will get to it. So, within the U.S., within Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Okay, and you're in property. Which area within property do you really know and do you really enjoy?
Community management, property management. In
Property
By the
particular.
way,
management.
I have an order that I could split with you. So
So there you go. So within property management, do you work? What type of company do you work for?
How do you mean what type of
Like, what do they
company?
do? Do they manage like property for like?
is
like
it
who?
high rises, mid rises?
What type of property management?
Apartment.
I don't. Yeah,
Apart-
apartment, townhouses,
Okay.
buildings.
So
Great.
it's like
Okay.
for
Okay, so who are their,
renters.
who are their
Yes, exactly.
who are their competitors?
Of my company.
Yeah. No, you don't have to know
Haven't
the
done
answer.
the homework. No, I don't
Yeah,
know the answer.
You don't have to know the
really
answer.
don't.
So what the easiest way to make money is to start where you have connections and what you know. And then the next thing you do is work out who are the similar companies that are in that field. And then you know what pain points does my company have that I solve, and how can I solve that as a recruiter for these other companies, and which is the most valuable profile that you recruit on a daily basis that your line manager, whenever you get it, they go, get them in quick, get them in, get them in. That's the person you bring to all those other companies, and then you have a business.
Sasha, let me ask you this. Do you know any recruiters? Do you work with in your current
Outside
job?
my company?
Outside your company? Yes.
No.
Hey, let me say
Oh,
something.
for your
Okay,
company.
I
Wait.
want you
Well,
guys to
I
talk.
just started. And the
Hey,
that's
she
the
is-
reason
she is
why I'm
perfect
here.
for
Hold on,
this
let me get
conversation, by
something
the
in
way.
here. Sasha, you're a recruiter. Yes,
Yes,
or no?
I
I
am.
know you keep saying I'm in HR, but you're doing recruiting now. Am I right?
Yes,
or-
I am. I
Okay,
am.
like, well, I'm not crazy, everybody. She's a recruiter. She
Well,
knows
first
how to
of-
recruit people, okay?
She knows,
know,
but she doesn't have any clients, right?
No,
Well,
she's
I
an
haven't
internal
started the
corporate
business.
recruiter.
I know,
Excuse me,
I
Animal,
just gave
there's
her
a
the
big
framework of how she
difference.
can build out a recruitment practice. Just follow what I said.
But it
Do
sounds.
that.
Yeah.
Do
You
you
can go to-
do you want to go out on your own, or you want to recruit
Yes.
them? Okay,
Yes,
that's
I
what we're
want to
talking
go
about.
on
Now,
my
look,
own.
my advice to you is this: find other recruiters that have job orders posting. If you like the job order that they have, you find them candidates and work with somebody, and it's called splits. When you do a split and you make a placement, then from there you develop your own expertise. But like Dewalt is saying, you figure out one area that you like, you stick to that area. It's like being a store. You can't, if you're going to sell paint, that's all you sell. All of a sudden, you don't start selling hamburgers in the back. You stick to that one thing. And pretty soon, what's going to happen is when someone says, I need a production manager for a food company that does frozen meat, you know what they're talking about. Now, when somebody tells me, and I've been doing this for 20 years, I need somebody in tech, I have no idea what they're talking about. Plus, to do that, I have to learn a whole different language. I'm wasting my time. I'll stick to bakeries. I'll stick to food companies. But if you tell me to do something else,
Yeah,
I will
okay,
say
that's
no.
what Michael G. Cox told her. Don't take anything else. I thought Dualta eloquently said, get a very narrow niche. But let me put something out to you guys that you're making a fool out of me, and the guest doesn't understand what I was talking about.
We
I
do that
think
every
for-
week. We do
Okay,
that every
I
week.
think. Well, that's why I'm
There's a
here
lot to
for,
be
okay?
said about consistency, Animal.
Yes, I am. Okay. For someone starting out their own business, and maybe Ivan would back me up here because he's got a YouTube channel, he wrote a book, all kinds of stuff. I think it would be worthwhile for somebody to interview people with these 5 or 10 minute interviews and set up a drip campaign of information, not just marketing candidates. And that would, she could post them on LinkedIn as well. And people, that sort of demonstrates your expertise. All of a sudden, people are saying, hey, look, Sasha's an influencer in the property management business in Pennsylvania. Am I wrong or right?
I would disagree with you. I would say to Sasha, find yourself a mentor, somebody that you can go to that can help guide you, another recruiter, and say this.
The people on this call. Hey,
Not me, join the
by
hug.
the way, like
you can
Sasha,
call people
you're already getting to know the whole property management thing.
Stick to it.
The crazy thing is, even companies like the one that you work for, not saying them in particular, but many companies that are in that property management business don't realize that there's a website with everybody across the United States that has a license to manage not just the properties, but the association management. And you tap into that, you get their phone numbers, you get all of their details, emails, where they currently work. You can find their LinkedIn profile.
I have
And now
something
you've got
like
all
that
of their
already.
contact information. And those are the people that you start bringing into your network by connecting with them on LinkedIn,
Don't you
on
think she knows
Facebook.
10 times more than you do about property management already? She's been working in the field for 2 years. Everybody's
from
treating
a-
her like she
No, you
doesn't
don't
know
learn
anything.
animal. You don't learn everything in 2 years. No, you don't.
Not,
learn
not from
everything
a
in 2
business
years.
development
No,
strategic.
definitely
perspective.
no.
If you
Well,
just
when
look
it
at
comes to
competitive
8 years.
business development in particular, the pivotal moment for me when I realized that I want to be my own boss is when I used to work for employers and just realized, okay, I could do this better. I know that I could do this better. I had an opportunity to grow to next to a father who was an entrepreneur himself, and that was a role model for me. And I knew from a very young age that one day I'm gonna have my own company. But okay, sometimes you need like courage, or the time frame is not good, particularly when you are a woman in the business, because in the meantime I got a kid, so I had to focus on some different things. So
How old are you,
okay,
19? Sorry, don't answer that question.
no, I'm 20, but you're good.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sasha, one other thing I would mention is, as you're looking for clients, don't go after the big companies, because they'll have their internal recruiters. They'll fight you because they gotta depend on.
I agree
their
with
own
Ernie.
business. So go after the companies that are small. Go after the companies that are mid-sized. but go after companies that already know how to use recruiters. Because if you go to a company that doesn't know how to use recruiters, it's a waste of your time. If they say, yeah, we use recruiters, they know what your percentage is. The second part of that is either go at 20%, and I don't know exactly where you're at, but I go at 25. I hear people say, go no lower than 10%. Never go lower than, don't even go to 15%. Go to 20, 25 on the base. And I guarantee, and that's what I would tell you to do. Just make sure that when
Okay, I have a couple of questions. I thank you all for all of your advices. Okay, so my initial thought is to, first off, before I start with this business, I need to have a good business plan, meaning that I'm gonna include everything, the description, what are the market competitiveness, who are my biggest competitors, who is someone that I can learn from, what are my marketing funnels, what softwares I can use or applications in order to strategy or push myself better. And I agree with all of you. I'm not gonna go like out of the blue, okay, I'm here, here's my Facebook or my LinkedIn profile. No, that's not right approach. By far, I realize that people in the United States, particularly, and across the world, right, have the mindset time is money, and if we are not using this time correctly, then you're wasting my time. Okay, so what are the results that you can bring me? What is the value that you are going to bring to my company? You know, and I know that those two things, results and value, will push me
Are you
wider.
making a speech? This is the Recruiting Animals Show, okay?
I'm
Just find
sorry.
people and
I'm
just
sorry.
find
I'm
people and
gonna
tell
drop the
people.
mic.
I want to hear
Yeah.
from Ivan. Ivan is somebody. Ivan, what about what I said about the using social media to create a brand for yourself? Is that something that a new business solo recruiter should do? Yes or no?
Why not? I mean, that's for
Well,
me
not
more
why
like
not.
therapy.
Yes, I think it's a really good thing, or no, it's not necessary. Not a why not. Okay, I'm not looking for an equivocal answer. Go ahead.
I mean, if you like social media anyway, and you have thoughts all the time that you want to share, then probably yes. But if you get easily distracted, it could be like also detrimental, right? I mean, rather just focus on the actual work. If you're like a little bit, let's say, not inclined to make social media posts, so if it doesn't come naturally,
That's
I
a
wouldn't
no.
do it.
Okay, it's not essential. That's what you told us. Okay, thanks.
I have a question for Sasha. Now, the question is this, Sasha, you just gave us a whole speech on what you need to do to understand the whole world of recruiting and your industry. How long is that going to take you?
Well, a good business plan can be done in 2-3 weeks.
What's
Yeah,
the business
sometimes-
plan?
Sasha,
I
why
need
do you
one
need
of
a
those?
business plan for this business? This business doesn't need a business plan.
I couldn't even get you up to scratch in 6 months. Even 6 months, you'd still be like, there's so much more to this recruitment
Okay,
stuff.
yeah, but no, this kid, she could be my kid. She's that young, okay? She's way
that's what
ahead
I
of me
mean.
already, okay?
No, but that's what I mean.
She's my
She's going to
grandchild.
be a big success in 2
Yeah, but-
months, Dualta.
Yeah, but shush a second. This is a hard game. It takes years to build something sustainable. You can get going in a hot market for sure, but to create something that keeps going and makes money year after year after year, you can't just learn that in 2 months. Like it doesn't happen.
But the whole thing is the whole thing is you keep learning. I've been doing this for 20 years.
Don't let your lack of
And
experience
I'm listening
trip
all
you
the
up.
time, and I'm learning all the time. You don't stop learning because everything changes. It's not the same. Recruiting is not the same as it was back in the year 2000. Completely changes.
It's
But
not
the-
the same
what
as it was in the year 2019.
And what I'm getting at is this. You jump in there, you find yourself a recruiter that can help you. If you need to get a job order, get a job order. But I'm going to tell you, the only, I guess you would call it, splurge you would get in your life is when you make that placement. You make a placement, you make 20,000, hell, you're in it. You're hooked. This is drugs.
That is true.
This is
Oh,
drugs.
trust me. I
You
totally
don't make
agree.
you don't make the placement. You could learn everything and go over and philosophically try to understand this whole business. And I've had friends that have tried to do it. Nah, but I got a
You
friend
guys
that
don't realize she's already a recruiter and she was in sales
you don't
before
realize.
that.
Animal,
okay?
excuse me, I'm so
you don't
sorry.
realize she's never done it on her own.
Yeah, and
in
second
an
thing,
agency.
she's doing it internally. There's a big difference, okay?
Really? Why? What's
Yeah,
so
oh,
different?
definitely there's a big difference.
Well, why
Stop.
does she want to go on
You
her
know
own?
what the difference
Where's
is.
Amy anyhow?
But
Yeah,
no,
we need
Wait
Amy,
a second.
Amy.
I'll say something else. Recruiting is very much the same as it was in the year 2000. Okay, it hasn't changed that much, and I know Super Rich would agree with me. Pick up the phone and call somebody with a good candidate. That's what we were doing ages ago, and that's
Reach out and touch someone.
Yeah,
first of all, in learning it, right? Where was LinkedIn in 2000?
it's easier. Sourcing is way easier than it ever was before. Do you use
That's
LinkedIn, Sasha? Do you use LinkedIn?
Everybody uses LinkedIn.
Of course I do.
Oh, okay.
But I mean,
Sasha, what kind of, I'm sorry, Ernie, what is the toughest role you have worked on up to date? I'm very curious.
What is the toughest? What?
Role you have,
Job.
position you have tried to fill,
Maintenance. Definitely. Maintenance.
maintenance tech. What is the reason it was tough? Can you please tell me?
Well, I believe because market right now is crazy with the whole pandemics and everything that happened, and the government was basically giving.
What was your
out
challenge? I
money.
want to know what was the exact challenge, not what the scenario with the market is. I'm
No
just very
shows.
curious.
No shows.
Ah,
That's my
yes.
challenge. I agreed to
Okay.
have an interview and then it's a no show, and I'm like, okay. I mean,
there are
I-
several ways to like get past that. Sorry for interrupting. So basically, it's like
please.
I mean, what I do like 10 minutes before I like remind the person, or on the morning I say, hey, good luck in the interview, la la la. So and then if they don't answer, like on some messaging app, then like oh. So like you can do several ways to at least, because the worst is obviously if you schedule interview with like 5 managers and the person doesn't appear. That's like horrible, right? That's like the most worst thing. But you can like try to catch it by really all the time communicating on like 3 channels with them, like, hey, like good luck tomorrow, good luck today, good luck in 1 hour, and then after the interview, hey, how was the interview? So I mean that improves the candidate experience, right? If you're constantly
Ivan, there's one more factor to understand.
Biggest companies, they like suck at that. Like I wrote this recently on, like they're like, oh, here's the scheduling email, so just choose your appointment like next. So it's like they are misusing technology to like make their lives easier, and then they actually make their lives harder by like not engaging with the candidate, because they don't have to, because they send the scheduling link, right? You should use every opportunity to build the relationship, to have a good candidate experience such that you can close the person. And to avoid no-shows, if you do not have a close relation to the candidate, you will have no-shows, because they're like, I don't care. Like, but if you build up like a good relationship, then like this will happen less, right? It will
Okay,
always
Mario,
happen.
then Ernie, and
No,
I'll just mention
I
that
agree.
Super Rich is not here. He
I wish he was here.
testified on Facebook that Super Rich, the multi-million-dollar recruiter, okay, the $1 million man, he's got people ghosting him. Mario, over to you.
Okay, Ivan, there's one small flaw in your discussion. See, you need to understand that she's dealing with maintenance techs. That is a lower range salary based position. Okay. The problem is those who are in those positions don't tend to be that ethical. They're not that ethical. Okay. And
Agreed.
that is why there are certain flaws. Now, when you're working with a guy for a 120K position, he has something to lose. The guy who's working for a 30, 40K a year position doesn't have anything to lose. He may have 4 other jobs open at the same time. So there is a flaw. No matter how good your network is, it's not like you can go to their house and grab
Yes.
them and take them to the interview.
And it depends on market. For instance, Pittsburgh specifically is the most competitive market that we are struggling, right? If I can say so. Other than that, for instance, quote unquote, recruiting animal, I'm learning.
I've been in Pittsburgh.
So Sasha, I have a question on follow up with you. Why haven't you all teamed up with another recruiting firm to help build your recruiting, list of
Because they
candidates that come
hire
in?
her as an
No,
internal
leave that aside,
recruiter,
leave that,
so
leave
she
that aside.
shouldn't
She's
have
doing
to work
internal.
with another.
Wait, she's doing she's doing
First of
internal.
all,
It's
while
different.
you're doing
I'm-
this, you can recruit on the side. Okay?
No,
No,
no.
you can't. Some depends on the agreement.
Yeah.
Depends on the
Let me-
agreement.
let-
You can't.
I know that.
Let me finish. The second part is this: the amount of money you make depends on the positions you decide to choose. I do not take anything less than, say, 80 or 90,000 a year. Why? Because if all my positions right now are over 100K a year, I charge 25%. That amount, 25%, if I get a job that's at 40,000 or 50,000, I put in the same effort for a job that's 160,000. So you got to look at how you're spending your time, but bring up your expectations when right now you're talking about text.
But if she's working with junior people and she can place them like it's eating popcorn, I mean, that's the volume is going to be there.
Please, I'm dying to ask this question.
Final word, Mario. Final word, Mario,
things
then the guest, and then we're going to feature
can you
DeWalta
please
because we're
tell
talking
me
about
why-
startup. Just let me say,
I'm
Hey,
gonna-
DeWalta, wake up.
I'll set the
I'm
pattern.
gonna go back to the question again. I want to know
Okay.
why
Yeah.
haven't you all partnered with another recruiting firm to help you build a list of candidates coming in for interviews? That's what normally we would do if you're having a problem with no shows. I mean, curious. I want to know.
I don't know what you
Well,
mean.
first off,
Go ahead.
She gets it.
Sorry. Go ahead.
First off, not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I would like to address this question and address Ivan's point of view because working as an internal recruiter, when there is a no-show, that means it's a disqualifier and automatically a red flag. So the mindset is the following. You want to join our team. You want to join our company. You applied for this job position. I wasn't the one who generated this lead. I wasn't the one who found you and, took your hand and asked you, okay, show up for an interview. So that's the first thing. Second, considering that like market is very crazy, I started doing last week, and I'm quite honest here, reminders for maintenance technicians to like 24 hours before the interview and the same day of the interview, because it makes my life easier when hiring manager does the interview with them. I know that I'm going to close that position and I could focus on different things.
So you don't
Hopefully
interview
that
them
answers
before
it.
the interview.
I don't need to what?
You don't interview them before the interview with the hiring manager.
Well, how can I interview somebody when I haven't done plumbing, when I haven't never
There's usually an
installed a
initial
drywall?
screen.
Oh shit! This is the disconnect, right?
Okay, hold on.
I'm
Okay.
out.
Wait a second.
I'm
Now
on
we're
point.
gonna. She can
I
come
need
back.
this.
Sasha, there's not a lot of guests registered for the show. You can come back anytime, okay? But we
Okay,
gotta
Sasha,
end the
why
show
they are
at end
behaving
time.
like-
No. I want
like this?
DeWalta. So we've been talking about teaching people how to run a recruiting agency. I want DeWalta to be able to tell us what he offers. Please, let's let him plug himself. Ivan, you're going to be back next week. Go ahead.
All
Go
right,
ahead,
so
DeWalta.
we're launching our new platform next month for the Recruiters Mastermind, and it will take you from either modernizing your agency or set up the whole way through. You'll be part of a group-based system. We get special guests in there. We have every document that you'll need. It'll be a mixture of live sessions and videoed sessions and coursework. So it's for more advanced people generally, but I've coached 3 people without recruitment experience recently and got them up and profitable. It's just, there are a ton of work. So I wouldn't be a one-stop shop for somebody who doesn't have any agency recruitment experience. You would need to probably seek out some other resources as well.
And
because
if they want to find you,
DeWalta.
where would they find you online? Under RecWired?
under
RECW?
Required, under the Recruiters Mastermind, under dohertygroup.io, a new website that is coming out in 2 weeks' time, and I will share all the details. You should definitely set up your own agency. Pick a niche, stick to what you know, keep it simple, make some money
Who's
overnight.
burning that they have to say something before we go? I know there's a couple of people here. Go ahead. Who has to say something? Is it Ivan? Were you burning to give her a rebuttal or what?
The prevalent wisdom in the community is basically, yeah, recruitment can be done by anything, but then at the same time, it's like super hard. There's like this schizophrenic.
Mario's got to say something as well. Mario, do you have something that you want to say?
Now I was going to ask DeWalta how much was it for a seat, but I think I'll ping him separately.
Talk to him off the show. Okay,
Yeah.
Mario the recruiter, raise your hand. thesalesrecruiter.com. Show us that peace sign, okay? Ivan Klang.so. He built his own applicant tracking system. Uncle Ernie Marino, foodindustryrecruiter.com, and Rec Wired. Thank you, DeWalter with Greyston. And here's our Sasha. I don't want to give too much information about her. What if somebody from her current business sees that she wants to go out on her own?
Nobody's
I feel
gonna
nervous.
watch this.
That's
Are you
true.
kidding me?
That's true, but I just feel nervous about that.
And number one, even if they did and they fired her, then she can go out faster.
That's true.
Yeah.
She's gonna build her own business.
Okay,
You got a lot of
we've got.
faith in her.
I have a lot of
Confident.
confidence in you. I think you're going to
Confident.
be great on your own. And thanks for coming to the show.
Lots
I really
of
enjoyed.
potential. Lots
Yeah,
of
you can come
potential.
any week. You can
Sasha,
sign on
come
as a
back
guest
next week.
or just visit.
I
Bye,
will.
everybody. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.